The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. And we thank you for joining us here on the program today. We're going to start our coverage right here at home. We had fillies and mares at a first level allowance at 6 furlongs, Marcus. So let us set out a 1 to 5 shot. Dick, you love the 1 to 5 shots. Would it be boom or bust? We'll have that coming up here in our first segment. Our national coverage will take us down to Churchill Downs for some fall turf action, the Grade 3 River City Handicap. We'll also take a look at some 2-year-olds on the West Coast of the Grade 3 Bob Hope. And Dick, we've been waiting to sit down with leading trainer Joe Taylor. Well, he's going to join us here in just a little bit.
He's got a great story to tell.
Yes, he does. So we'll talk to Joe here in just a little bit. Hi, everybody. Keith Jones down on the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing, and my great friend Dick Girardi. And Dick, let's talk about Joe, who we'll talk see in just a minute. You know, you look at the standings a lot of times, the trainer standings, the jockey standings, they tend to be so close.
Right.
Joe is so far ahead.
Now, it's a runaway, and a runaway over a guy who's won 6,000 races in Scott Lake. Yeah, Joe is going to win his first trainer's title, and he was an unfamiliar name to most people around here, and when I went to do a story on him this week for the Let's Go RacingParks.com, frankly, I didn't know his story. We were about to hear it, and it's a really good one.
And Dick, you know, a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes the leading trainer, it's just en masse. They send out so many horses, they just overwhelm you with numbers. You know what? Joe's percentage on the year, and he sends out a lot of horses, he's winning it better than 21%.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because John Service won last year with a high percentage. John doesn't send out as many horses as others, first ever training title for one of the all-timers here. But yeah, Joe did it a different kind of way, he has different kind of horses, and his horses, the one thing you notice about them, once they get good, they stay good.
Yeah. Really good guy. We can't wait to talk to Joe here in just a little bit. Let's get to our local race of the week, Dick. It came from Sunday afternoon, 6 furlongs. We have fillies and mares at a first level allowance. As I mentioned, you love 1 to 5.
Yes,
Dick, number 5, Blue Eyed Girl, is that price for Frankie Pennington and Marcus Soletta. One of those $20,000 claims from Churchill Downs. Dick, this looks like a pretty darn good claim. And when you look at the numbers and everything else, this horse might be deserving of being 1 to 5.
Yeah, look, claim for 20, second win, and win big.
Yes.
And running big numbers, always in the 80s. 80's going to win the race. Frankie, Marcos, who wins a lot of races. Yeah, I don't like 1 to 5, but this is a pretty good one.
Second choice, there's only one other horse that's less than double digits. That's the 9-horse Norma's Charm is 8 to 1 for trainer Uriah St. Louis. Dick, it's kind of interesting to look at. She's 1 for 29 lifetime, but she's earned $172,000.
Classic Uriah. He runs them in races and picks up checks, 4 times second, 8 times third. As Keith said, closing on 200 grand.
That's amazing. Dick, 1 to 5 on Blue Eyed Girl. Here's the call. So 1 to 5 is the price on Blue Eyed Girl. She runs to the 3 gates pole, opening up 2 lengths. CC's Cup of Tea coming up alongside of Amanda's Romeo. Those two are now together, second and third. Not leaving as fourth, it has almost 5 to make up. After that, Rapid as Norma's Charm and Shivering Moon. They have to come and get Blue Eyed Girl. The big favorite hits the top of the stretch with a 2-length lead. Amanda's Romeo is weakened just a bit on the outside. CC's Cup of Tea trying to sustain her bit on the outside. Blue Eyed Girl is in front past the gate pole. CC's Cup of Tea trying to gain late. Amanda's Romeo was third, far outside. It's Norma's Charm. Blue Eyed Girl past the 16th pole, now extending that lead to 3. They won't get to Blue Eyed Girl today. We'll pick 1 to 5 and have a 3.5 clear at the end. Blue Eyed Girl wins easy, pays $2.60 to win. And number 8, CC's Cup of Tea, was acting up before the race. Actually ran really well at 12 to 1 to finish second. But Dick, I could never bet at 1 to 5, but geez, that was pretty easy.
If you're going to bet at 1 to 5, this was the one.
Well, Dick, let's get to our first break. We got back here on Let's Go Racing. It is our leading trainer. Joe Taylor joins us after this.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable.
What does Chapman's 7 locations and 10 car brands mean to you? It means a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models, many one-owner, low-mileage certified with miles of factory warranty remaining. Safety checked, meticulously detailed, and each come with a free Carfax report so you can buy with complete confidence at any Chapman Auto store near you. Or shop online anytime at ChapmanPreowned.com.
If our emblem is not on your car or truck, you probably did pay too much.
Want to get out of the cold this winter? Well, Parks Racing is just the place to keep you warm and toasty. Parks Racing gives you plenty of live horse racing action all winter long. And yes, it's fun to see them run from other racetracks as well, with plenty of simulcast action from all around the country. It's a front row seat to see the top 3-year-olds prep for the Triple Crown from Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita, and more. So put on your snow boots, grab your coat, and head on over to Parks Racing. It's warm and toasty, and always, it's fun to see them run.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. It's time to get to our feature segment this week, and it is a great pleasure to welcome in the guy that is going to be coming up in a couple of months to accept his first Trainer's Award as our top trainer. It's a pleasure to welcome in Joe Taylor. And Joe, thanks for joining us here on the show. When we get to the banquet in the spring, you're going to come up and accept your first trophy as top trainer. Have you given that some thought yet?
Yeah, I have thought about it, and one of my owners is joking with me because last year I had like a pullover on. He's like, I got to take you out and get you a suit, long ball. He's like, I got to get you a suit. You can't go up there looking like that this year. But yeah, I have thought about it, and I'm very excited about it, really. I don't really show it too often, but I am excited about it.
Joe, your name started to show up with the program really pretty recently, 2016, when you got your license back and started to train on your own here at Parks. So for the fans, your name is kind of new, but you've been around horses for a long time. Tell us a little bit about your background.
I have. I started out in standardbreds back in the 70s with Liberty Bell, and I actually worked for the leading driver and trainer, Silda Campbell. And then I got...
Silda Campbell?
Yeah. And, he was hardly ever there. His wife did all the work. Me and his wife were the only ones in the barn in the mornings, but... It was a learning experience, and then I got away from the game. I got married. I got a regular job, and then in 2004 I kind of came back with. I'm related by marriage with the Karenis. Armin's a good friend of mine, so I started hanging around, and then I started being the assistant trainer for Pop Kareni, and boy, super sharp trainer, and I love the guy to death. He's like another father to me. And I worked for them for a while, and then in 2007 I took the test and I got my trainer's license, and I had very little luck. I had 4 or 5 horses between 2007 2010, and I got back out of the game. I started driving a truck with my brother as my partner for Papa John's. I was only working 2 days a week. I was playing poker. I was traveling around playing poker and stuff. And then my stepson actually gallops for Mike Farrow and Pat Farrow, and he wanted to get a horse. And I said, you know what, I'll take my trainer's license out, so you don't have to pay nobody any percentage or anything like that. And the first horse we claimed got claimed right back off of us, and then we won a 6-way shake for Simstown for a nickel. And he really did good. He made like 84,000 and got claimed off us for 12.5. And the next horse we claimed for 7,500 made 115,000, TJ Goody. And that was it. We were just off there. Before you know it, you got 6, then you got 8, then you got 15, and then you pick up some owners, some friends of mine and stuff. And before you know it, I have a whole barn right now, and it's stressful, but it's exciting. I mean, it's just a great life. It really is.
Joe, when the season began after the year you had last year, did you think you would be doing better, and did you imagine you would be doing this well?
Well, it's when you have 6 or 8 horses, it's easy to keep your percentage up.
Right.
It really is. It's not easy, but I mean, if you make the right
sure.
decisions and you have a little luck, you can keep your percentage high. But when you start expanding out, it's hard to keep that winning percentage up. I am very fortunate to have great owners that just say, listen, just do what you do, put the horses where they can win. We lose them, we'll go get another one. So we make good decisions. We claim off the rag sheets, and we usually claim decent horses. We put them where they can win, and they're very competitive usually. And I mean, my percentage has dropped a little, but I really don't look at that. I just look at the quality of the horses and how they are in the barn and how they train in the morning. And we've been very fortunate.
And one of your owners is John Finelli, and if life had worked a little bit differently, the day he claimed Math Wizard,
listen,
you would have been training Math Wizard.
I was out on the golf course when he claimed them, and he goes, I just want a shake for a steak horse. And it's a funny little story, just 2 seconds, I'll tell you. But I think Safi worked the horse, and he loved the horse, so he bought a percentage of the horse. And there was a small window that I was going to get the horse, but it was funny because I called Steve Glaceris, because I get, we go back and forth. I get a lot of experience from Steve Glaceris. He's a great guy. And I had called him about something else, and he's like, you got to give me a couple minutes. I just got out shook for a steak horse. And I said, who was it, Math Wizard? He goes, yeah. I said, yeah, my owner got it. So that was exciting.
Pennsylvania Derby winner.
Now, Joe, a tremendous success throughout the course of the season. What's your trick? How do you keep your horses running so well for so long?
Listen, everybody says they got the best staff on the racetrack. I truly have the best staff on the racetrack. My stepson is phenomenal on a racehorse. And he gets, every horse I get, he gets on him before anybody else, and he comes back and he tells me where they feel weak, where the angles are, and we work on what he says to work on. And I have a lot of family working for me. My cousin's hot walking for me. Does all my nebulizing. I nebulize all my horses, and he's been around the game for 40 years. Scott Lake even named the horse after him, Chaz Mandu. I mean, I can't do it without the work. With these guys are unbelievable. You walk through my barn and they just take no shortcuts, and it's just great.
He's giving all the credit to everybody else, but this guy deserves a lot of credit himself. He wouldn't be at the top of the standings. Joe, congratulations on a terrific season, and we look forward to bringing it up and giving that trophy to you in the spring, and best of luck as you continue down the road.
I'm very excited to be here. It's just a great life. It's a great ride, and you need a lot of luck in this game. And if you can get the luck and do the right thing by the horse, then you usually have good results.
Fans, that's leading trainer Joe Taylor right there. Let's get to our national coverage now. It's brought to you by Chapman Auto Group. Unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck, you probably paid too much. And we start our national coverage heading down to Churchill Downs. And Dick, you love these fall turf races, don't you?
I do.
This is the Grade 3 River City. They'll go 9 furlongs on the grass for $175,000. The favorite is number 9, Admission Office. Gets back down to 6-5 here for trainer Brian Lynch. Dick, he's been in some big races recently. Still looking for his first graded win, and he comes from way back.
Yeah, he does come from way back, so you always have the possibility of getting in trouble. And frankly, I didn't think much of the Shadwell.
Right.
I didn't like anybody out of that race, and none of the horses out of that race have run any good since.
I was surprised 6-5. That's a really short price. The second choice here is number 4, Mr. Misunderstood. I think he's 9-2 for trainer Brad Cox, and he's the defending champion here of the River City. They can talk about horses for courses. He just loves Churchill.
5 times on the turf course, 4 wins. Brad Cox won 2 more Breeders' Cup races this year. He's not going to win the Eclipse Award. Chad's going to win again, but man, he's certainly one of the 5 best in the country right now.
9 furlongs, the Grade 3 River City. Here's the call.
Get Western shows the way, unopposed so far. Lascaux sneaking up on the outside, takes over second. Emmaus is back into third while inside. Cullum Road comes off the hedge, angles to the 2 path to be 4th past the half. And then it's Bema's Boy racing in 5th. Mr. Misunderstood is 6th. Admission Office on the far outside in 7th. My Barely picking it up 8th while down inside. Blue Sky Cowboys second to last onto the far turn in Space Mountain Trails. They're on the turn now, and Get Western is still the leader. Lascaux poised on the outside, putting in a bid now. Here comes Lascaux with a 2-wide challenge. Bema's Boys coming on 3 wide. Admission Office coming on 4 wide. Emmaus cuts the corner off the turn. Cullum Road's in behind. Mr. Misunderstood is there as well. Top of the stretch, Get Western trying to hang in there. Lascaux's got a shot. So does Bema's Boy. Admission Office center of the track. Clear sailing for Emmaus down inside, and Cullum Road comes slicing on through. Mr. Misunderstood finishing fast as well. 100 yards to go. Mr. Misunderstood comes away with the lead. Admission Office far outside. Bema's Boy is there. Here's the wire. Mr. Misunderstood.
Dick, we mentioned Admission Office coming from way back. He actually got first run on Mr. Misunderstood.
Yep.
As they're coming into the stretch, Mr. Misunderstood is like in behind horses. Where's he going to go? It was like the Red Sea kind of opened. Came on through, and Dick, he does it again. He gets up and wins by a neck at $11.20 to win a great price here. Dick, how do some horses just absolutely love certain surfaces like this?
Loves this grass course, loves any grass course, but really loves Churchill. I mean, 12 out of 21 lifetime.
Right.
And this is a horse that likes to win at Churchill. no seconds or thirds. So only time he didn't win, he wasn't there. And same true all the 21 starts, 12 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. I love horses like that. You don't need to box them in the exact. Just put them on time.
Dick, let's go out to Del Mar. The other great race of the week is the Grade 3 Bob Hope. We have the 2-year-olds here going 7/8 for a purse of $100,000. Dick, a couple of scratches, brought the field down to 4. This looked like the potential match race here. Let's talk about the 2 favorites. Number 6, Strong Constitution, is 4-5 for trainer Doug O'Neill, and he is a son of that sharp sire Constitution. Dick, he's fired in both career starts.
Yeah, really sharp young sire Constitution, son of Tappet, and he's as hot as can be out there. But second start, the Sunny Slope, lost by a neck in a really powerhouse race.
Second choice here at even money. The second choice is even money. That's High Velocity. Some guy named Bob Baffert, son of Quality Road. He got back down to 70 cents on the dollar in his debut, and he did not disappoint.
And speaking of hot sires, Quality Road is one as well. No, he did not disappoint. Baffert at 3-5 in a debut, winning comfortably, getting an 81 buyer. And there's a pretty big rivalry out there between Baffert and O'Neill. I don't know where they are at the moment. Both guys I like, but they've had some issues.
Well, it looked like a match race on paper.
Indeed.
Maybe it turned out that way. Here's the call.
They run past the half-mile pole, and High Velocity and Drayden Van Dyke leading it by a neck now. Strong Constitution right there second. Rager having to be sent along down at the rail, and Zimba Warrior still last, but again, no more than 2.5, 3 lengths covers the lot. 3/8 of a mile to go, and High Velocity and Strong Constitution, the 2 favourites, stride for stride out here. Then Ranger and Zimba Warrior. They are coming to the quarter pole. High Velocity at the rail. Strong Constitution. This promises to be a thriller. They're at the top of the lane. High Velocity, Strong Constitution. They turn for home, nose and nose. Homeward bound in the Bob Hope now, and what a race it is. High Velocity and Drayden Van Dyke at the rail. Strong Constitution, Abel Cedillo on the outside. High Velocity digs deep and finds more. High Velocity going to win it. High Velocity has won the Bob Hope Stakes.
And indeed, that match race did develop, Dick. These two came into the stretch together. And as I watched the race, when High Velocity switched leads after he turned for home, he had another gear. And he pulled away to win by a length and a quarter, paid $4 to win. And he starts his career for Mr. Baffert with back-to-back wins.
Right, so an 81 and an 80, you're not thinking Derby. You're thinking Baffert has more, better, younger horses that we'll be seeing at some point. But not bad. High Velocity, 2 for 2.
Well, let's go down to Laurel now. We had some local flavor down at Laurel this weekend. There were races for the 2-year-olds and the 2-year-old fillies. So let's take a look at the race for the 2-year-old males. It's the James Lewis III. They'll go 6 furlongs for $100,000. The favorite, number 1, News to Me, starts on the inside, 9-5 for trainer Mike Trombetta. Dick, he's had 3 starts, 3 different surfaces. Last time out at Prescott, he won for, how about Mark McDermott, the stake name for our buddy Mark McDermott?
Yeah, how about Mark McDermott for those Penbreds? Of course, he was, I don't know what his title was with the Pennsylvania Breeders' Organization forever. Mark, one of the good guys in the game. And yeah, how about having a race name for you?
3 races, 3 different surfaces. Number 8, Sir Back in Black, is the second choice at 2-1 for trainer Richie Vega. Dick, we talked about this horse a few weeks on the show. He's the horse that's named for Tony Black.
Named for Tony Black. And of course, Tony gets on some of Richie's horses in the morning and was really impressive in his first start. Angel Castillo went down, rode him at Laurel. 5-1, won pretty convincingly. This is a pretty neat race with some interesting horses with some Parks connections.
Well, there's one other we want to mention, number 3, Informative, and it's our buddy Uriah St. Louis. And no surprise, 18-1. But Dick, as you look at his numbers, they've improved, and they're really not that far away from some of the contenders. I'm not sure 18-1 is fair here.
Well, they're betting him at 18-1 because, as our man Uriah is wont to do, he will take a horse that has not won and put him in a stake race. They're going, well, that's crazy. Not for Uriah. It's not.
James Lewis III. Here's the call.
Reform School at a good pace leads it by 2 lengths. Reform School now with a half-mile left to go. Leads the charge heading into the far turn run. Reform School is in front now. And Sir Back in Black in second. On the outside is Raging Whiskey just in third. On the inside, News to Me. Then Bernie's on Fire 3 wide with 3 furlongs to go. And Informative is last of them all. Reform School is the speed to catch with Sir Back in Black in second. And Raging Whiskey in between horses. Bernie's on Fire and News to Me down to the inside. And last is Informative. Informative. Top of the stretch. Reform School's led the whole way. Reform School kicks away. Opens up at the 3/16 by 3. Reform School, they're back in black, and the inside is News to Me. The inside is Informative. The far outside, Raging Whiskey just stuck at an even pace. Reform School in front. Reform School looking to pull a major upset here. News to Me, charging hard on the inside. One last-ditch effort on the far outside. Informative over the top, and a photo finish. News to Me or Informative.
Well, Dick, Informative 18-1, maybe another couple of feet if the race had been just a little bit longer than 6 furlongs, because he's coming on the outside. But the nod goes to the inside, number 1. News to Me at 9-5 pays $5.60 to win, and that was a nose in front of our friend Uriah at Informative, who runs a great second. It's a great race.
Yeah, and Mike Trombetta's got some really good 2-year-olds running around, and this is one of them. It was a great race. And one of the things Uriah always has going against him is that all his horses are closers, so they often don't quite get there, but I was really impressed. I think this horse is going to win some stakes in his future.
Well, let's get to our next break. We come back here on Let's Go Racing. Our jockey and trainer of the week. How about multiples? We got a lot of guys to mention. We'll be right back after this.
Amazing achievements for Pennsylvania breds on the world stage. Thanks to Finest City, Unique Bella, and Shamrock Rose, PA joins Kentucky as the only state in the past decade to breed Eclipse Award champions 3 straight years. Add that to our unmatched incentives. Plus, our Racehorse Development Fund can only be used to support PA breeding and racing. Why breed anywhere else? This is Brian Sanfratello. Go to pabred.com and see why Pennsylvania is the premier place to breed and race.
Want to get out of the cold this winter? Well, Parks Racing is just the place to keep you warm and toasty. Parks Racing gives you plenty of live horse racing action all winter long. And yes, it's fun to see them run from other racetracks as well, with plenty of simulcast action from all around the country. It's a front row seat to see the top 3-year-olds prep for the Triple Crown from Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita, and more. So put on your snow boots, grab your coat, and head on over to Parks Racing. It's warm and toasty, and always, it's fun to see them run.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Time to give out our Jockey and Trainer of the Week, and the weekly awards are brought to you by the Turning for Home program. Of course, that is our racehorse retirement program. Log on to their website and get involved at turningforhome.org. Dick, I just couldn't split hairs this week. We got 3 jockeys that deserve mention: Dexter Haddock, Angel Castillo, and Jomar Torres, all riding really well. So got to give all 3 of them at least a mention here on the show.
And we have 2 other jockeys coming down to the last month of the season in a virtual dead heat. Frankie and Michael for the jockey.
Tremendous jockeys race. And Dick, we have 2 trainers we want to mention: Mike Catalano's barn and Marcus Saletta barn that are both going really well. So when those guys are sending out horses,
look out.
Take a second look, because they're both doing well. So those guys are our jockeys and trainers of the week. Let's get to Race Recap. Race Recap, of course, brought to you by the good folks at Pewter Stable. Log on to their website and become an owner today. It's pewterstable.com. Let's go back down to Laurel for the 2-year-old fillies. This was called the Smart Halo, against 6 furlongs for $100,000. The favorite, number 2, Co-Factor, is 6-5 for trader Kelly Breen. Dick needed the photo finish camera for 2 victories recently, but not going to need that photo finish camera today.
Yeah, not this time. The Jersey Connection, Kelly Breen and Joe Bravo, going to roll by in a stretch win by almost 2 lengths. And I always like seeing Kelly, because you know he's going to have a great hat on.
You got the hat. The fast-paced setup nicely there for Co-Factor, $4.40 to win. Up to New York, it's the Notebook. This is 2-year-olds at 6 furlongs for $100,000. The favorite, number 7, Dream Bigger, is 4-5 for trader Rudy Rodriguez. He romped last time out at Finger Lakes. Dick, our friend John Finelli, was in here with the inside horse, number 1, New York Traffic, was 8-1. But Dick, Dream Bigger ran big again.
Yeah, Dream Bigger ran huge. Opened up a giant lead in mid-stretch. Wins pretty comfortably, an 84 buyer, the Rapoli stable, and something tells me they are still celebrating Vino Rosso's Breeders' Cup Classic win.
$3.70 to win on your favorite there, Dream Bigger. Well, Eye on Racing, Dick, again, we're into the fall season.
Yes.
How about up to New York for one of those long-distance grass races, the Grade 3 Red Smith?
Yeah, the Red Smith is always a fun race, and I know we talked about this last week, Keith, but it's coming up in a couple of weeks. The Cigar Mile. He's going. It's spun to run and maximum security. It's going to be fascinating.
Well, Dick, let's get to our final break, and we're going to wrap it up with news and notes. And Dick, we have something special for the folks coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that when we come back after this.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Want to get out of the cold this winter? Well, Parks Racing is just the place to keep you warm and toasty. Parks Racing gives you plenty of live horse racing action all winter long. And yes, it's fun to see them run from other racetracks as well, with plenty of simulcast action from all around the country. It's a front row seat to see the top 3-year-olds prep for the Triple Crown from Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita, and more. So put on your snow boots, grab your coat, and head on over to Parks Racing. It's warm and toasty, and always, it's fun to see them run.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
Who proudly earn our living.
In Pennsylvania's horse racing,
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
but it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs,
Jobs and billions in economic impact each year.
all across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. News and Notes is our final segment. It's brought to you by the Granny Fund. These people get involved and help the education prospects of those folks in the backstretch by getting involved and making your donations to the Granny Fund. You can see the information there on your screen. Bruce Caselda, Dick Girardi, Keith Jones, and Dick. In a couple of weeks, I believe it's Saturday, December 14th, we're going to have a special program with our friend and President Sal DeBuna sitting down with Pat Shiraki, the news anchor, having a chance to talk about some of the racing issues here in the Commonwealth. Here's a little snippet about what we have to come.
The PTHA is very committed to the -- industry in the state of Pennsylvania, and that would be agriculture. How do you partner with the agriculture industry through the organization?
We feel statewide that not just the PTHA and not just Parks, but there are about 23,000 jobs that are created statewide because of this industry. And that helps feed and these are basically people who are agricultural employees. And we work with them to, again, a lot of these people I mentioned are the feed and the shavings and they're all helping to help the agriculture business in Pennsylvania. We feel we generate basically over $2 billion a year for the agriculture industry. And it's interesting because every dollar we get from slots, we feel we give $2 back.
And Dick mentioned that's coming up on December the 14th for the folks, but the guys at the top of the industry here, Sal DeBundas, Mike Balesi, they've done so many good things for the people here in the industry in the Commonwealth.
It's one of the many reasons why this has become a player. We have this great September with the Derby and the Cotillion and the good purses all year long, and it's another reason why 2 Parks horses have won Breeders' Cup races the last 2 years.
Well, Dick, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Don't forget our new post time, 12:25. And we hope to see you right here at Parks, and we hope to see you next week on Let's Go Racing.